There are so many different metrics that come at us. Is there a metric that catches your attention more than most, or is it that you rely just on kind of the work you guys do?
I rely on what we do, but I also look at all the metrics to tell a story. And frankly, what you're seeing the metrics tell the story of, essentially it was solidly optimistic for this upcoming holiday season. They're good metrics. A lot of the metrics surpassed their expectations. The other thing, when you look at online versus in-store is always going to be lower than online because online is a smaller part of the business. But one of the differences this year is online sales, the rate of growth slowed. It's going off a bigger base. While you're looking at in-store, the rate of in-store sales increased for some. Traffic is holding steady with what it's been year to date. And I think, for whatever you want to say, the Gen Zers, the teens, they like that experience of being in stores. That's what I saw on Friday when I traveled all the stores.
What do you mean by that? Like, this is like the same people who watch Friends, ironically, because they, didn't watch it the first time around, are now going to the mall? Like,
the teens are going to the mall
that's
also.
what I mean.
Everyone wants the experience. I think what everyone missed from COVID, talking to each other, saying this looks nice on you, or look at this deal, that communication matters.
So what's old is new again, Carol? They're going back to the mall just like we did when we were kids.
Well, I know. Who doesn't love a mall? I don't love a mall anymore. Having said that, though, Dana, like my daughter, 22, there was something she was going to buy online, but we went to Bloomingdale's to try it on, and she ended up like, okay, this doesn't work, and not buying it. So it's like interesting, kind of this mix of how we're figuring it out of how to shop.
And it's always the surprise, because when you buy something you've had before, maybe you do get the same size or you know what it is. When you're buying something new, and one of the things this year is there's newness to wardrobing. You're looking at shoes where people are going back to whether it's brown suede boots like Steve Madden is selling, whether it's wide leg denim jeans. It's not just the same old, and partially because events are taking place.
So we look at retail sales as this monolith, but we know that's not the way that they're actually sliced. What would you say characterizes the companies that are doing a good job at actually bringing consumers through the door versus the ones that are not?
Newness. I think the newness and product innovation really matter, something that they don't have in their closets. You think about the newness even in consumer electronics, whether it's Nintendo, whether it's Aura rings, there's new things out there. Same old, you're going to watch for the deals and what the value you're getting. But today, when you have, whether it's Coach adding new items to their Tabby collection, whether it's Macy's, who now has 40% newness, 20 new cosmetics brands in their stores, whether it happens to be Steve Madden, which I mentioned with the brown suede boots, the closed-toed shoes at Birkenstock, or you look at Levi's, which frankly has new collaborations that's driving demand. So what are you showing me this year that you didn't show me last year?
What about promotions? Because I have to say, leading up to it, I saw some big promotions, 50, 60, and they built through kind of the weekend.
So we do a tracker, 85 retailers that we track every holiday. We've been doing it for over 10 years. We did see promotions build, particularly in some of the specialty apparel retailers, but not everyone. I mean, we saw some promotional increases, whether it's the Bath & Body Works we saw it in, and you've seen a wider range of promotions instead of maybe last year 40 to 50, maybe it's 40 to 60%. You're going to watch that. At the same time, you know who had fewer promotions or less promotion? Ralph Lauren. 30% off instead of 40% off last year.
So what's the picture that all of this paints of the consumer?
I think it paints a consumer who's a bifurcated consumer, higher income continuing to spend, lower income basically being very discerning in what they're spending on particularly on essentials. But it's also showing consumers want to celebrate the holiday season, and they'll think about January and they'll spend for holiday.
How much, though? I think about this a lot. I mean, how are they buying? We saw some information about the buy now, pay later, continuing to be an important payment option for consumers. Adobe forecasting $20.2 billion will be spent through the payment method this holiday, 11% growth over 2024.
I think on the buy now, pay later, look who it's going after. It's going after those consumers who have more limited spending power, and it's picking up interest. You are seeing companies who've had buy now, pay later for a long time. It's still important.
It's everywhere now.
It is everywhere. So it's not as differentiated as it had been in the past.
It's not a sign of anything in your view?
No, I'm watching credit card delinquencies a lot. We're looking to see what that looks like. We're watching certainly what consumer spending looks like. And if anything, you're still seeing some pretty solid results. Take a look at the retailers' earnings the past few weeks. Well, they've been mixed. Some of the outliers, I mean, who would have thought Kohl's? Kohl's basically showed some improvement, and we've seen some good results. More to come this week, because this week everyone from Macy's, Victoria's Secret, Ulta, Signet are all reporting, and we'll get some more color on discretionary.
So it feels pretty good.
It feels okay.
Okay?
Tariff-driven price increases. I mean,
that's
the
what I was-
demand elasticity is something to be watching carefully.
So that's definitely there. Like, does it feel like a season where folks were like, holidays are important, and so I'm budgeting so that I can spend here, and maybe I won't do something else?
I think there's some of that, but I think they're also spending, saying, I'll pay it back later. I think they want to celebrate, given it's been a tough year with a lot going at consumers all at the same time.
So you said that Nintendo has done a good job this year of bringing consumers through the door.
Yep.
Companies including Steve Madden,
Yep.
Levi's,
Ralph Lauren.
Ralph Lauren. What are the hot products as we look to
You
December?
have to say La Boo Boo.
Oh, Labubu is the hot
Still?
product.
Labubu
Oh, yes.
still? Okay.
It is. I don't even know what a La Boo Boo. It's like a little.
It's a
It's a little troll
collectible.
thing on a
Yep,
backpack.
collectible. Yep. It could be on handbags, backpacks. Guys and girls wear Labubu or have Labubus, and it is the hot
Do you
thing
have
now.
a La Boo Boo?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Do you?
just checking. No, I don't. No, but it's just kind of.
Well, now I know what I'm getting each of you for the holidays.
Thank you.
Is there like an it thing? Is that
That is the it thing. The
Yeah.
Labubu is the it thing. I mean, there's other things out there that are certainly trending. Legos are always trending and are very popular. So who can take that away?
Yeah.
When it's gotten colder out, so you're definitely seeing sweaters and outerwear take center stage.